There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you, not doing.
What are your relationships reflecting back to you? That is something I had to ask myself. Why was I attracting um, negative relationships or toxic relationships? And even why some relationships might have not been so toxic, but I seem to maybe sabotage those. And it all goes back to what is going on with ourselves. And before I talk more about this, I first would like to send a shout out to Albany. She is a beautiful person and she is a wonderful life coach. And she has helped me broaden my perspective of this and really helped me realize that instead of maybe looking at what another person did to me in a relationship, I really needed to look at what was going on inside of me. And for me, I feel like it all has to do with coming coming back to ourselves and reflecting and evaluating what is going on within us, because our relationships sometimes, a lot of times, shows us things that are going on within ourselves that we may not be aware of. For example, if you find that in a lot of your relationships, people are mistreating you, not giving you the same energy as you've given them, then that could be a sign that maybe there's a belief that you have about yourself where you don't feel like you are of worth, of importance, that you are valuable. And a lot of times we will, I know this from personal experience, we would find ourselves in relationships where people are just walking all over us, or people are just not treating us the way we think we deserve. And a lot of times, deep down inside, it is because that we have low self-worth. We have low self-esteem, low value of ourselves. It's like people are going to treat you how you treat yourself. One, and how you feel about yourself. So it is, a lot of times it is us. It's not the other person. And that's why I had a shout out to my friend Albany, because she really, after some conversations, she really helped me realize that it's really not about anybody else but ourselves. That we set the tone, for how people could treat us. We accept either good behavior from other people or bad behavior. We could allow other people's negative energy to affect us, or we could just block that out and not take that in. But getting to this point is becoming more self-aware and just taking that time out to get to know you and get to know what's really going on deep within you. And sometimes that's hard. I'm still getting to know myself, and I have learned a lot about myself within these few recent years. But it has taken me so long to get to this point where I am now able to know certain things about myself. But for the longest, I was kind of wearing, I would say, a mask that, other people, I felt like other people wanted me to wear. Or I was wearing a mask that I felt was more acceptable. I wasn't being true to myself. And getting to know yourself, at least from my experience, it seems like it's much easier when, you spend some time alone. Not saying you have to cut everybody out your life, but I do agree that if you are in a toxic relationship or dealing with someone who is really toxic to you, I do agree that you should cut them off. But more importantly, just finding more time to spend alone and to be in your own energy and your own thoughts and really get to know you. So back to relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about relationships with your family members. Because our relationships have an impact on us in our life. It could affect the way we think, how we move around in this world. But the most important relationship is ourselves. And that's why it is important to get to know ourselves more and better. And know that, okay, so let me get back to my point. So when I look at some of the relationships I had, especially the ones that were toxic or the ones that had caused me pain and heartache, betrayal, I feel like those relationships were one, trying to get me to realize a lot of things about myself. And that's what our relationships can do. Our relationships are like a mirror, right? That, hey, maybe something within you need to change. Maybe you need to start speaking up more. Maybe you need to start standing up for what you believe in. Maybe you need to come back to yourself. Maybe some of the things that you think you want are not really what you want, or what other people want. Maybe you need to have more self-worth and self-value and self-love. And that one is really, really important. That one is something I had to learn. That I needed to love myself. I needed to fill my own cup. And I needed to stop depending on other people to do those things for me.